Hey folks, how you doing today? Hope everything's treating you well so far. I am having a pretty decent day, can't really complain. I'm already working away on Tassie Trailin' to get ready for another update next week, and probably after that I'm going to be building tasks. Don't want to put tasks in until they're all ready, so we don't have any of this tasks not working or saved progress gets lost. So it may be more than a week for the task update because I just want to have everything finished and tested so you guys can play without having fears of too many problems if we can avoid it. Now I got asked why I spend the time modding that I do not too long ago, and it's come up several times over my modding career. And I always kind of just shrugged it off and said, oh, it's fun, it's what I like to do. Not sure why, but this time I actually have put a little bit of thought into the question, and I figured, you know what, it's time I might as well pass on why I spend the time doing this and why I really enjoy it. Now, if you're looking for the TLDR version, really, if I had to sum it up in a few words, is the fact that I just love the challenge of building a realistic and fun world in a video game. Working with you guys in the community is extremely rewarding, and I really enjoy that part of it. Probably the most is interacting with everyone's ideas. And one nice touch that's come up with Snowrunner is the fact that they give out an award, and all the hours that we put in to get some return, because I mean, that's not why we do it. Trust me, I'm not getting rich doing it. It's more about the fact that they just acknowledge the time and effort, because they know fair well what we put into it, and I can only imagine what they do to build a game compared to me just making a world with some missions. I honestly have no experience with any sort of video game, coding, nothing, until I started building mod maps, and I'm terrible at 3D modeling because I just haven't put the effort into it. I always enjoyed the map making more. And I honestly have very little artistic ability outside of building these worlds. So there you go to anyone that wants to try it and doesn't think they'll be any good at it. I spent most of my life as a ski lift mechanic, and I spend a lot of time doing this, and for some reason I'm good at it. So if you think you want to do it, you might as well give it a try. I actually started modding, I think I did 2 maps for BeamNG right when it came out. It was still, I don't even remember how or what I did or anything. I'm sure it was a couple computers ago at this point, and never released anything. I just made stuff myself. And then I got Mudrunner and played the game and enjoyed it, but couldn't find a mod map that really gave me what I wanted out of the game. So once I figured out how to get the editor loaded up, I just kind of went at it. And to be completely honest with you guys, the massive manual that Snowrunner has didn't really exist for Mudrunner. You just had to figure things out, and there's not very much back then on the internet about it, because Mudrunner was a pretty niche game to begin with. If you loved it, you loved it, and if you didn't like the slowness, you didn't want to play it from what I saw. So I messed around with it for a while, and I made a couple small maps that my brother and I played, and didn't really publish anything at first. And like back then you had to like upload it to the sketchy mod sites. We didn't even have the workshop. The whole process was pretty tiring to do and extremely confusing. I don't know if you could still find them, but I'll have some pretty comical, at least to what I put out now in the time and effort, maps that are on those old Mudrunner sites. You might be able to find them, but I put a couple maps out, and just, you get comfortable with dealing with the editor and so on. And before we knew it, the workshop was enabled, and everything got a lot easier, and you got a lot more viewership, and it was safe to download stuff. So fast forward a couple years, and I think I must have around at least 20 Mudrunner maps at this point. I'd have to go back and count, though I haven't looked. and we started hearing about Mudrunner 2, which was going to be so much more than the original Mudrunner. As somebody who started from the ground up in Mudrunner, it was awesome to hear that we were going to have like missions and different cargo, and like the modding community did a lot with Mudrunner, but this game was going to be everything that I wanted as a map maker. So I was pretty excited to hear about the new game coming. And I'm going to be honest with you, as soon as I loaded up Snowrunner when it came out, I was pretty darn impressed with what they come up with and how it was all done, and like it was seriously everything that I had wanted in a new game to build with. And man, we had like 30 models in Mudrunner, and there's like 1,000 in Snowrunner to just use buildings and roads, and it was just incredible. Now don't get me wrong, Snowrunner did have a lot of issues when it released. I don't know if any of you guys remember going across the first bridge you build in Michigan and not being sure if you were going to clip right through it and end up in the bottom of the ravine. Like, it had its issues, but still, I mean, I looked at the big picture, it was pretty incredible and how much better it looked. Like, I was happy. I just knew we had to be patient. Really, the only real letdown I had was once I loaded up Snowrunner and realized that the editor wasn't ready and wasn't shipped with the game on release was just a bit of a bummer. And that's why you'll see some of the tweaked trucks that I have in my mod lineup there. I was just trying to fill time waiting for the editor to be released, basically. If I load up my original game save that I still have managed to not delete yet, I have a backup though, so not to worry. It will load up in the very first spot of, is it Lake Cove? Basically, the time the editor launched was the time I stopped playing the game, and it's just creation since then. Really, the bottom line is, I love this game just as much as you guys do. I just kind of go from a different angle. Like, I get the joy out of engaging with you guys, basically trying to, like, some of the suggestions I've gotten, I did not think I could do. The Australia map series here, I was intimidated to even try building Australia. I don't live there. I've been there for a few months of my life, and it's just so iconic, and everyone knows it so well that you want to do the place justice, and I seriously didn't think I was going to be able to pull it off. But every time I uploaded a video to you guys and you guys saw what I was doing, there was just so much praise and positive energy through it that I just kept going and watched a heck of a lot of off-road videos in Australia to see what it looked like and find some of the iconic spots. And you know what? It's turned into a big series of Australian maps, and I got a few more in me, so I know everyone that the vehicle creators are coming out with some awesome utes and Australian inspired trucks, and it's just kind of fun to watch the game swing over to this to the Australian side for a bit, because there's some freaking awesome off-roading over there, four-wheeling, whatever you want to call it. It's a heck of a lot of fun, and I've really enjoyed the interaction from you guys, and that's, as I said, that's the main reason I do this. I have some awesome people that have sent their hard-earned money to me, and I appreciate it so much, especially during the COVID thing. That few extra bucks really helped myself and my family out, and you know, it just makes you feel pretty special, to be honest, that somebody is going to take the time to throw out those comments or send you a couple dollars of their hard-earned money. And I just want you guys to know I appreciate it, and that's why I keep going on it. And there have been times where I've kind of slowed down and taken a bit of a break, but I've always come back, because I know how much it means to some of you, to all of you. It means just as much to me to create these adventures and actually consider myself artistic for once, which is just kind of funny to say because I've never felt that way. But hey, I really enjoy it. I appreciate you guys so much for just everything you do to keep it going and make this something that I can have a lot of fun doing for you guys. Anyways, we'll talk to you again soon. Appreciate anyone that listened this far, and let's see what comes out next.